Chapter 10.
What does it say? Oh, okay, just look at the pictures. But do you want to ask if they have questions? Because I think I'm going to take a little Prosecco break. Questions?
I have question.
Yeah, I think, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah,
or
I have a question because I want to know if I want to know if the godmother herself, 有九婚吗？ So,
I am an observer and a writer and a scribe, merely.
I'll read the book and find out more.
there is a difference between an anthropologist who partakes and one who doesn't.
Oh, the objective.
Ask Margaret Mee, she would know.
Chung is taking questions. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not taking
Come on,
questions.
guys. You are my friends. You can ask me almost anything.
Okay, well, I'll ask one.
All right.
I think it's an interesting portrait in the sense that, it's not that the men don't have a role. How do they view their lives? What's important to them?
I think I said it on Channel News Asia. Actually, the men have quite a lot of fun. You can imagine. You have to do a bit of work around the farm and all that. But when Mark... Hello, yes. After you do all your work in the daytime, right? You get to play, you might... I think today we go and catch birds with a fish net, so we can have, deep fried paddy birds for dinner, or, I think let's go and hunt down some honey and smoke out a beehive, tonight. I live before a tiny lake, right, where the wild ducks come every winter. And they have one lousy shotgun, They have one lousy shotgun, and somebody smuggles in some bullets, right? And they go like creep to the lakeside, and they're lousy shots, right? And they're going boom, miss, right? And I tell them, I've gone hunting in South Africa. You want me to shoot for you? Oh, no, it's okay. You see, even men in Mosuo land are chauvinistic, They can't believe I can shoot better than them.
But you're not supposed to kill, right? Because you're a woman.
No. Oh, right. Maybe that's it. Very good. Oh, very good.
Spotted the flow there, right?
Say Marco, you can say touche. I want to know.
No, I just want to know, is the tribe the same as the Minangkabau, which is also matrilineal?
Actually, I think what is so different about the Mosuo is that not only are they matrilineal, they are matriarchal. The Minangkabau are matrilineal and a little bit matriarchal, but I think her brother is the one to be listened to, the Minangkabau grandmother. The Carolans, if I'm not wrong, Dilip, were matrilineal until the colonial powers ruled it illegal, and then they legislated away matrilineality in Kerala, right? There's apparently this Kazi tribe in near Nepal, right? They are matrilineal, but the men actually move into and become part of the household, although they don't have much power, So it's actually all these communities are in varying degrees of matriarchalness, but they are matrilineal, The Mosuo is strongly matriarchal, which is great in my view, but the other communities are in different shades of the women holding fort, I think.
More questions?
Come on, yeah. I think, can I have Anya first? Thanks.
In terms of when you guys were going out and everything, when women, I don't know if women beautified themselves very much, but if they did you observe that it was more for themselves, or was it still to impress men that they were going out to go dance with?
In my book, I will tell you that the men decorate themselves, and they have more jewelry than the women, and they strut about, right? But the women are plain. They do not have to decorate themselves at all because they are the choosers, not the chosen. Is that cool? Is that close to me? Yeah. So, in fact, it's really the opposite, isn't it? And the first time I went there, as I did in the rest of other parts of China, I brought lots of lipsticks, and I started giving lipsticks as presents, right, to the women by the lake. And they said, no, that's too red. Anyway, I never wear lipstick, But if you give a man a nice cowboy Stetson hat, oh, he'll love you for it because it makes him look decorative. How about that? Idula.
I was wondering, what's the average number of children that these women have in their homes,
In the older generation, that means their children being of, say, 40 years on, before China's family planning set in. Like my adoptive family, there are 8 siblings. Other families have 10 siblings and so on, right? But now that the family planning thing has reached the far corners of China, the ethnic communities can have 2, as opposed to the city families having only 1. So I make that mistake, Virgila. Sometimes I forget myself in China and I say, how many kids do you have? And they look at me like, get real, we only have 1 or we only have 2, so stop asking that stupid question. Actually, it's something for you to remember, because it's so easy for us to say, how many kids do you have? Like, don't ask that question in China, it's embarrassing, okay? They only have 1, and in the countryside they have 2, and that's about it.
How about a couple more questions?
A man is asking a question.
Ladies first, no?
Sorry, the man first to me, and then we'll come to, we'll let the weaker sex, we'll let them have their fun, okay?
That's okay, right?
I'll come back to you, man.
Hi, thank you so much for sharing your book with us.
Who are you?
A fan. A fan.
Your name and IC number, please.
My question is actually about the children. Given the increasing integration of the community with the rest of China, I'm curious how many of the children are staying in the community versus moving away.
Oh, they move away. When they finish junior high school, they go away, they go to Lijiang, they become waiters and waitresses, and they might go a bit further afield, and then they lose a lot of the old ways, They meet somebody who is Han Chinese, and they actually get married, and then form families that are not matrilineal but patriarchal, And yeah, I think it's slowly eroding, as my friend Guy tells me to say. They are a dying community, actually. All these old ways are dying, and I think will disappear eventually, and probably in our lifetimes or something, So it's quite sad, actually.
So how do you feel about the fact that your goddaughter has... Sorry, yeah, sorry. I was just wondering, because your goddaughter is now in her final year, based on the book, in tourism college, and is doing some kind of internship in a hotel in Lijiang, right? So, but your encouragement, as it were, of her, how does that make you feel that in a way you are contributing to that?
Can I tell you to me, the sad story of my goddaughter? My goddaughter, whom I love dearly, right? Not only, that was 2 years ago in the book. I said I put her through vocational training to in the F&B trade, right? Guess what she did this year? She met a Han man who made her pregnant. She got married to him. She's the mother of a baby, and she now forms part of this patriarchal Han family structure, you know. She's left her mother's home, and she's lost to the Mosul child. Much to my, you know, regret, actually. I was hoping she, you know, she'd earn some money and contribute to her maternal family and all that, but this is not to be. Very sad. I think we go back. Is it to Maggie? Is that Maggie? Maggie? Oh, Joyce. Hi, Joyce. Yes, you have a question, Joyce.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, book is a really good read, and clearly now that exposing the rest of the world to a very remote part of China, it's going to change the face of how the Mosul tribe and this village is going to be. How do you feel about that?
You know, my book won't make a dent in the tourist numbers that are already
I think you're
inundating.
being very
No, really. They have like 500 to 1,000 tourists each day visiting them as it is in the last 5 years, you know, and more people are going. I mean, they are on the Chinese tourist map. So the Chinese come thinking they have a nice time and maybe have a little fling or two. They're not going to find it actually, but I think by now, hundreds of thousands of Chinese and some French and some Israeli tourists have made it there. So my book is not going to make a dent in this or bump up the figures in any meaningful way, I think. Maybe there'll be more Europeans going or something, but no. I will not be guilty of changing their word. They are already changing. And for those bored people on this side of the room, including Lim Kay Tong,
Who's playing with his grandchildren, okay?
no, chatting with, you know, inattentive people. If you can't hear me, let me know.